Hi there, I'm Lorraine Prokopiou and I'm going to be working through an upper limb workout today. This is looking a bit more towards intermediate workout. We've got 3 in this series and this is our middle one. I'm working today on an aligned Pilates A8 reformer with the tower attached, and I've got the push through bar already set up, and I've got 2 blue springs on right now. I've also got arm springs ready for action, and we will be working on the reformer a little bit later. But let's get started. So we're going to lie down on your back, and we'll just reach for the push through bar and then lying down. I'm just kind of lining this up so somewhere between the chest and the collarbones, and I'm just going to work the shoulder blades here. So I'm just doing some scapular isolation, a little protraction, a little retraction. It's really nice here with the push through bar just to get the feeling of the back of the body working as the shoulder blades draw together. So this workout is really just thinking about focusing onto the upper limbs there, mainly around the shoulders. I'm going to start bending the elbows as I just pull the bar in and then releasing up. So you could think maybe you want to just split your workout, so one day do upper body and one day do lower body. This would be a great workout for that option. Or maybe you're just focusing in on rehabbing your upper limb and your shoulder injury, and this is a great place to work. So I'm going to bend the elbows and push the bar through this time, and then return and bring that bar back up again. I'm going to keep that going, just controlling, and just notice you have to spin your hands around the bar a little bit as you're working your push through. I'm going to take the arms overhead and hold back to scapular isolation. This time I'm doing elevation depression. So I'm shrugging my shoulders up towards my ear, pushing the bar through, and then drawing the shoulder blades back into place. Again, just getting that sense of moving the shoulder blades on the chest wall. And I'm keeping the spine neutral, controlled as I work the upper body. And I'm going to finish this last one off. And then as I bring the bar past, I'm going to come all the way up into a sitting position, just releasing that bar. And then we'll pivot around and come onto all fours. So I'm going to stay nice and upright through the spine first of all, and just get the feel of the resistance on this push through bar as I'm pulling down and controlling up. Just letting the elbows bend as I pull down and then straighten as I push through, and then controlling the return. Nice easy length through the spine and getting that work through the upper body here. I'm going to take this into a cat. So I'm going to pull the bar down, follow the bar with my forehead, round through the back, keep the shoulders quite high as I push through into the cow, and then tuck the tail underneath me and return all the way to the upright, returning the bar. So following the bar with your head, I like to think about leading with the head and then easing into the cow, and then lead with the tail as I tuck underneath, returning all the way to the upright, controlling the recoil of those springs as the bar comes back up. I'm going to go 2 more, up and over, controlling through the shoulders as well. You want to watch you don't push too low, otherwise you feel like you're going to kind of drop to the bench. So, keep the shoulders under control as you're working here. Here's my last one, up and over. Feeling the abdominals working as well as I control through, tucking the tail and controlling back up through the shoulders, and then releasing back down. We'll take one of these bars, springs off and just release. I'm going to come down into a sitting position on here, nice and upright through the spine again. And then I'm just going to pull the bar down and straighten the elbow. And again, just think about that control, especially as the bar works through its arc position. Hand is just slightly in front of the line of the shoulder. Makes it a bit more comfortable through the ball and socket joint there. I'm going to add a side bend, so sweeping the arm up and over, side bending, and then controlling back through. And again, you've got to watch as you push through that you don't go so far that you feel like you're going to collapse through that underneath shoulder. So just being controlled there. It doesn't matter. It's really tempting to try and, you know, push the bar right through. No need. It's just all about the control as you work your side bend. I'll go one more, up and over. Nice, and then return. Release that bar all the way up. We'll pivot around, do the other side. So thighs kind of parallel here, supported by the bench, lifting up and pressing down and through with this arm. That's quite nice, this exercise in and of itself, just the prep here to keep the length through the spine, because it's kind of tempting to crunch down or let the shoulder do something funky. So keep it under control. And then we'll add the side bend, sweeping the outer arm up and over, and then return and control back up again. And we'll do that one more time. Oh, a few more times, otherwise I'm not going to be even, am I? Let's keep that coming. Up and over. Good. Return. Here we go. Here comes my last one. Up and over. Controlling through the shoulder, controlling through the waist. And then a return. Nice. I'm going to keep this quite light, and then I'm going to bring the bar all the way down and come onto my belly. And just line the bar up with the uprights is quite a good place to start. Now this bar is quite high, so I'm having to push down on the arms and almost lift my chest before I've even started. So if this is if this is a bit strong through the shoulder, you might like to skip this one, see how you go. So we're just going to do some elevation and depression here. So shrugging up and drawing the shoulders down in this prone position. Drawing your tummy muscles in as you control this. So as I say, just watch that. If it feels a bit pinchy in the back, then just do this work without the bar. I'm going to bend the elbows as I come in and lift just a little bit, and then push back out again. So I'm getting this thoracic extension, allowing the elbows to bend a bit as I lift, and then controlling the recoil. I'm going to do 2 more here. And back down. There's quite a bit of work going on through the lats, through the upper arm as I'm working. I'm going to control that bar as I come up onto all fours. Keep hold of the bar, and we're going to do kind of a shell stretch here. So I'm dropping my bottom back towards my heels, kind of pulling back against the bar to get the length and the stretch sort of through pecs and through the lats here a little bit. Release, one hand on top of the other. Same thing, just pressing back, and there's a bit of a side stretch here, and I'm feeling more of a stretch onto one side, and then I go ahead and do the other side. Bottom back towards the heels, I'm kind of pulling back against the push through bar here to find that stretch. Release, we'll come all the way up. I'm going to take this spring off now, releasing the bar all the way down. I'm going to come back down onto my back and use the arm springs. So pivot back around, setting up, reaching for the arm springs. So that in this situation, I've got the short yellow springs here. I'm just going to press my hands down and control up. And I'm going to keep that going. So it's nice, fairly strong resistance, especially as I get to the bottom of the movement here. But then as I bring the arms up, I've got to control, and the springs completely recoil. You can see that there. Holding on, I've got to use my tummy muscles a bit as well, especially as I get to the longer stretch of the spring. So finding that control. Let's bring the hands to the hips. You're going to stay there, and we'll just bend and straighten the elbows. So tricep work now. All of this work that I'm doing right now with these arm springs, we're going to do again on the reformer. So it's prepping your body up for that work. Hold the arms straight. We're going to make some snow angels. So the arms come out to the side and then press them back to the hips. Again, the longer you stretch the springs, the more resistance you're getting. And you've got to work the arms and work your tummy muscles to hold the torso steady. Now arm circles. So bring the arms up, out and around, and to the hips, and we keep on going. So again, it's just finding that real control through the springs, even as they recoil and come back to their shortest length. And then reverse, up and over the torso. And then we keep going. 2 more, I think, is going to make it even. And then all the way back up. I'm just going to leave those springs onto the bench and flip over onto my belly. And we'll do a little bit of work with the arm springs here. Again, this kind of comes up later on onto the reformer. So I'm going to take the springs, keep the head low, keep the spine nice and long as I just pull the straps back to the hips and control the release. Keeping the length through the spine as I work. And again, you feel the work through the back of the body, but make sure you're using your tummy muscles to support the low back so that you don't get any pinching. And then we'll just land the hands onto the strap here, onto the bench. And then I'm just going to push through the forearms here and just lift the head and lift the shoulders and then release back down. So I've kind of made a diamond with my arms. And sometimes this is called a diamond press, so we're just lifting up and controlling back down. I'm thinking about floating my heart up towards the ceiling. A little bit of push down through the forearms. And feeling the back of the rib cage pressing into the shoulder blades there. Nice, I'm going to put those 2 exercises together now. So as I pull the straps, I'm going to lift my body and then control back down again. Now it's really tempting to kind of really go for the height here, but watch that because that's going to tend to pinch your back. So definitely feel like your whole back muscles are working and those arms, but you're feeling connected through the tummy muscles, so you keep the length through the spine. Let's go one more. Reach, release. And then I'm just going to release those springs there. Onto the hands and knees, just easy press back into a shell stretch, just to release off any tension that you might have created into the back. Coming up onto all fours, we're just going to take a little moment into some scapular isolation. So drawing the shoulder blades together and then separate them as you come up and down there. So feeling the gliding of the shoulder blades on the chest wall. Now you could, in this situation as well, actually pop your hands over the edge of the bench if that feels a bit more comfortable through the wrists. I know this is always a little bit, can be challenging for people through the wrists. So if that's better for you, you could do that. I'm going to bring my hands back, reset, flat back, and then we're going to do just a few press-ups. So push down through the bench and float your heart up towards the ceiling. Now try and keep it floating up as you bend and straighten the elbows. I don't mind how far down you go, but just keep that length through the collarbones, width through the shoulder blades, trying to keep the heart floating up even as you bend the elbows. Just finding that control. We're going to try a few press-ups a little bit later. Good, and we'll make this one your last one. Come on up. We'll drop back for a shell stretch again, just to take a little release off the wrists. And then turn back up onto all fours, and we're just going to do a little bit of arm opening here. So I'm going to bring my left hand just slightly in, so it's slightly in front of my face here, and then lift the right up for the twist. And then release and thread through. So a little bit of kind of thread the needle here. We'll just do 2 more of these. Open, thread through. So I'm pushing down and getting some rotation through the torso and controlling through that shoulder as well. I'm going to land that hand. We'll just do the same on the other side. Lift and then thread through. Controlling as you bend the supporting elbow and feeling that kind of work through the shoulder as you work there. This is my last one, and I'm going to land that hand down. I'm going to take another little press back into a shell stretch. We like a shell stretch. Nice, and then we'll come on up into a standing position. And I'm going to convert this now into a reformer. So I need to take the mat converter off. Let's do that. And we'll just scoot this underneath the reformer. Good. And then I've got the platform extender to come off, we'll take that off. And then we're going to bring the reformer, all the way down. And we'll just place one red spring on there. I'll just get my arm straps ready because I shall need those in a moment. So they're just hooked over these little uprights there. And then I'm going to put the foot bar up just because I'm going to need the support for my legs in a moment. So I'm bringing that up for me. And then I'm going to perch on the edge of the bench and then pivot around, lying down on the back and just settling into that position. So checking you're into the center of the reformer there, center of the carriage. Thighs easy dropping into the sockets of the hips. You've got that lovely neutral pelvis. Bring your straps up and I'm going to take, I've got 2 loop options here, so I'm going to take the shorter loop. Just gently zipping up your tummy muscles, legs into your tabletop, holding here, and then we're going to press the hands down to the hips and then control the recoil. So remember I said about the arm springs? Here they are right now on the reformer. So just notice that it does feel a bit different than the arm springs on the bench. And we're just getting that control through the carriage as that moves, which obviously it doesn't when you're working on the tower. Right, here we go. I'm going to press the hands to the hips and stay there. Tricep press again, so bend and straighten the elbows. Now I'm hovering my elbows off the carriage. It's a little easier to actually land your elbows on the carriage. You know where they are then, but working a little bit stronger through the control, hovering those elbows off if you can. I'm going to make this one my last one. And then I'm going to make some snow angels again. So arms come out to the side and press the hands down to the hips. So again, controlling that abduction and then pressing away. Eccentric control, pressing down into the straps. One more here. Nice, and bring it back in again. And then I'm going to come all the way back to the stopper and take a moment's rest. So I'm going to rest my feet down and take the arms out wide just for a little stretch there through the chest. And then roll both knees over to one side just for the rotation. Draw through the waist and head to the other side. So I'm trying to hold my shoulder blades on the mat here. I've got a bit of a chest stretch going on while I'm adding a little active rest with the rotation. Quite often when people have got their legs in tabletop for a little while, it can feel a bit grippy through the hips. So this is a really nice place just to give a little active rest through those hip flexors. Return to center, bring the arms back up. We're resetting, tabletop with the legs, hands to the hips again. We're going to take some arm circles. So snow angels, and then bring the hands above the chest and press back down. So we're making that arm circles, controlling through the torso, holding those legs in tabletop. Good. All right, we'll go one more. And then we're going to reverse. So bringing the hands up, take them out to the side, control to the hips. Let's do that again. And I think I've got to do one more to make me even. Nice, and bring it all the way back, and then I'm going to find that stopper again, find the foot bar, just loop those loops back over the hooks, ready for action later, and then we'll come on up. Nice. Next up, we're going to use the long box, so let's grab that out. And we'll pop the long box on to the bench here in this long direction. And I'm going to drop the foot bar down a notch so we can do some swan on here. So I'm going to lie on the long box, place your hands on and then slide your body torso onto the box. Just resting the chest on the box and placing the hands onto the foot bar. And then I'm just going to press out and in here. Just quite light on the spring, but it's all about controlling the out and the in. I'm feeling like the elbows are kind of dropping to the floor, slightly off on the diagonal there. You've got beautiful long legs. And controlling, because I want to tend to hang. So make sure you've got some energy in those legs. I'm kind of connecting my pubic bone to the box. Let's straighten the elbows and hold them straight. We're going to do some scapular isolation again. So I'm shrugging and drawing the shoulder blades back into the, shrug the shoulder blades up towards your ears and then pull the shoulder blades back down into your back pockets. There we go. And let's keep going with that. So again, that sense of controlling the shoulder blades on the chest wall, really, really important for the control and the health of the upper limb. Good, let's return. Okay, we're going to take this into a more of a traditional kind of swan. So I'm going to straighten the elbows here, and then I push down on the foot bar and lift the chest as I pull the carriage in. I'm really using my tummy muscles here as well to lift that torso. Or control the torso as I lift. Return. Let's keep that going. So pushing down through the bar, a bit of a lat work there as I push down, and then control back. And I'm using the abdominals to feel like I get that controlled extension through the spine. And you're only going to lift as high as you feel happy going. So you choose how far you come. But the carriage is still moving out and in. This is my last one like this. And then I'm going to bend the elbows and release. I'm going to take a little rest and just kind of hang there for a second. And then I reset and I'm going to put all of those together. Press the carriage away, straightening the elbows, and then come in for that swan shape. Return, and then bend the elbows to return the carriage. Good, let's go again. Straight the elbows, baby swan, return, bend the elbows. 2 more rounds, straighten, and a swan, return, bend the elbows, last one, straighten, swan, press away, and a return. Good, all the way to the stopper, sliding off again, and coming all the way back up. All right, we're going to try a little bit of side arm work, sitting on the carriage. So I'm going to start facing you, I think. So turning this way. Now, having said that, I want to change the springs. So I'm going to add a blue and take off that red. So we're going to sit on the reformer, on the long box, facing sideways. Now, options in terms of your leg position, you can make like a frog and bring the heels into the side of the long box, or you could cross at the ankles, sit like a pixie, or you can sit well back on the long box and kind of let your feet just rest, which can be quite nice and comfortable for a lot of people. The most important thing is you find that upright position through the spine. We're going to pick up this front strap, and I'm going to start with a spine twist. So I'm holding with this hand, I'm going to thread the other one through and hold and support, so I can kind of push there. And then I'm going to turn towards the frame and then work the waist to find the rotation and then bring it back through the center. So at this point in time, I'm just really fixing through that upper body, and I'm trying to rotate and get the sense of rotation through the waist with the tummy muscles. I'm going to do 2 more. And last one. And then I'm going to return. Bring the elbow into the waist. We're going to do a little bit of lateral rotation through the shoulder. So I'm just going to pull around and then control back. I'm trying to keep the waist nice and long on both sides. It's quite tempting to kind of crunch down on that one side. So think about keeping your collarbones parallel to the bench, parallel to the long box as you're working. Nice, and I'm going to go for 1 more and bring it back. And then I'm going to change into the other hand, and we're going to do shaving side. So we're just lifting this arm up and then controlling back down again. So as I reach up, the carriage moves. Really trying to find the control through that shoulder. There's a lot of work going on through the chest here, through those pecs as you're working. I'm going 1 more. And then release back down again. Nice. So let's hook that on there. I'm going to pivot around and do the other side. So same thing, getting yourself a little bit organized onto that bench. I'm going to take hold of this strap, reaching round, other hand threads through, set the upper body, and then work the twist and control back. Keep growing through the crown of the head, feel the ribs rotating around your vertical spine. 2 more here. And the last one. And then bring it back down, tucking this elbow into the waist, just the lateral rotation through the ball and socket joint of the shoulder here. Keeping that elbow in towards the waist, but try and keep the spine nice and long. I'm almost pressing a little bit through this hand into the long box, just to try and help keep me vertical, because this is quite hard work. Good, I'm going last one here. Switching hands, shaving side, reaching up, controlling back down again, working through the chest as you're lifting that arm. And the hand is shaving the side of the head, but you're not really getting that close to the head to give it a shave. But you've got the sense of that length and bringing the hand up the side of the head and then reaching to the sky. That was my last one. And then I'm going to release that down. Right, I'm going to switch the springs again. I'm going to bring it up a little bit. So I'm going to add my red spring and take the blue off. So I've now got just one red on. I'm going to turn and face this way on the box. Scooting back, and I like to just kind of rest my heels almost over the edge of the headrest here. You could, if it feels better for you, have the knees bent a little bit more and the feet kind of flat on the headrest. It's entirely up to you. Again, the aim of the game there is just to feel nice and upright through the spine. So let's just start by pulling the strap straight back, controlling forwards, just working here, working the back of the body, and you've got to work through the torso as well to keep the spine nice and straight. I'm going to do one more there. Good. And then I'm going to take the shorter loops and bring the hands up into a vertical, more upright position. So this upper arm is kind of level with the shoulder. And then I'm going to do some biceps, controlling as I pull forwards and then controlling the release. Now this can be quite challenging because the elbows will want to drop. So try and keep those nice and upright as you're working here. So I'm getting a nice bit of bicep work. I'm working the back of the body as well because I'm working against the pull of the springs. And I'm getting that nice control through the spine. Last one here. And then release. Then we're going to take the hands again back to the long loops, and I'm going to turn the palms facing down. So I've kind of got my thumb over the top of that strap. I'm going to be nice and upright through the spine. I'm going to chop my hands back and then control forwards. So watch the chin wants to, I think I've almost did it on that first one, wants to poke forwards as you chop the hands back. So try and keep that length through the spine here. Let's reset, give that another go. Pulling back and controlling forwards. Pressing into those straps and release. Nice easy length through the spine as we're working. We'll go 2 more here. And control, and last one. And control, nice, release. Now I'm going to drop this strap and then take the opposite hand to the other one. I'm going to loop through and then grab the rope. It's a little bit like starting the mower here. We're going to bend the elbow and pull back and then control forwards. And this first round, I'm just going to do facing forwards as I do almost like a one-arm row here. Last one like this. And then I'm going to add some rotation. So I'm going to pull back and control forwards. Pull back and control forward. So working that rotation, I'm really feeling a lot of work going on around through that shoulder blade as well as I pull back and a release. So let's do that on the other side, dropping down, loop the hand through, grab that strap, nice and upright through the spine, and then pull and control forwards. So notice the difference between these two. You've got this beautiful length through the spine. I'm controlling that. I'm just working, pulling the strap. And then I'm going to put a bit more power into it and add the rotation and then control the release. Add the rotation, control the release. A couple more here. And we'll make this one our last one. And then release. Strap back down on the loop. We're going to come off. Now we can't do this little set without doing arms pulling straps. So I'm going to leave the single red spring on, but I'm going to drop the foot bar so it's completely out of the way. And then I'm going to come down onto my tummy, onto the long box again. Oh, I just knocked that, so let me just reset. So I'm now facing the other way. I'm going to reach down and grab the ropes, let the handles come down towards the floor here, long spine, and just pulling the straps and then controlling forwards. So same thing as before, in that we've got to work the back of the body to keep the energy out through the legs. And I'm working the back of the body, of course, as I'm pulling those straps. I'm going to pull and hold. I'm going to stay here and work some triceps again, bending, straightening those arms, long straight spine. If you notice it pinching in your back, start drawing your tummy muscles in and push your pubic bone into the box. Releasing the hands down. I'm just going to take a little rest here. I'm going to kind of land my hands on the silver runners and just hang for a second, just to release the back off. Then I'm going to reset and I'm going to make, I don't know, do we want to call these prone snow angels? Sometimes it's called airplanes. So take the arms up to the side a little bit, pull them around to your hips and then back. So it's just like those snow angels, but we're on our tummy now. Pulling back and controlling forwards. Pulling back and controlling forwards. Now these ones, I like to keep the hands kind of lining up with the torso. Sometimes in the sort of more traditional class, we sort of let the head drop a little bit. I don't really like that through the neck and the upper back. So I like to keep just everything lined up. And I'm just trying to make those prone snow angels with my hands. Nice, I'm going to make that one my last one. Releasing all the way down. We're going to loop those loops back over there, sliding off. Now I'm going to take the long box off. Let's put that back down here. Good. I'm going to bring the foot bar back up again. Good. And then I'm going to come into kneeling, holding on to the foot bar, and then just bringing the feet against the shoulder rest. So remember those press ups we did earlier? We're going to do some of those now. So I'm just going to stay in this kind of box position. It feels slightly different, obviously, because your arms are lifted in a higher start position. And then I'm just going to bend and straighten my elbows. So all I'm doing here is like a box press up. It's pretty straightforward, actually. No need to move the carriage at this point in time. We're just folding at the hips as the elbows bend. And I can start to think about taking a bit more weight through the arms. Keep the spine long by drawing the tummy muscles in. Here's my last one. Hold the breastbone over the foot bar. Now just gently push with the legs, push the carriage away so you end up into this half plank. Now I'm going to stay here and do my press ups here. So the carriage isn't into the stopper. Just bending and straightening the elbows. Now you'll notice the carriage will move a little bit as I'm working. Allow that to happen. Keep the heart floating up towards the ceiling all the time. Last one here, straight the elbows, hold. Now you're going to keep your plank position as you push the carriage away and control forwards. Let's do that again, push the carriage away. Now you'll notice here as well that I've got my thumbs with my fingers. For me, that's my preferred option. A lot of people like to grip with the thumb round and underneath. Absolutely fine if that makes you feel safer. I prefer this. It's more comfortable for me. Right, we're going to combine those. So we push away, a return, a press up, push away, return, a press up, one more, final hoorah, a return, a press up, and a release, and return the carriage to the stopper. Nice. And then come up into standing. We'll finish with a nice easy stretch here. So just work that chest. So let's open and feel the chest stretch. I'm going to take the arms out really wide, trying to pull them slightly behind the line of the body, and I'm really getting a lovely stretch. And if you want to make it even bigger, you can reach your fingertips back behind you. And that starts to get a little zingy through the wrists. And then release, spin the palms, cross the hands in front, palms together, reach the hands forward and then look down and then tuck your chin in. And I'm just trying to keep reaching my hands forwards, feeling a stretch between the shoulder blades and maybe up into the back of the neck. Release, drop the hands, flip them over, take them back. Another chest stretch, bicep stretch, release. Roll the shoulders and just feel nice, easy length through the spine. So a little bit of harder work today on those, on that level 2, getting a little bit more complicated on the choreography and a little bit tougher on the work that we had to do. So for those of you that are interested in the clothing that I'm wearing today, I'm in Tabby Noir. So the top is a high-low top, so it means it's a little bit cut higher at the top and a little bit lower at the back, a loose top, and this is in garnet. And then my leggings are full-length tights, and these are actually snake print garnet. And then on my feet, I'm wearing toe socks, and I have the open toe version, and it's this Bella version that I'm wearing today.